Hi guys, and welcome to Escape Wheel Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're going to be reviewing the Vario 1945 D12. So Ivan over at Vario, he sent me this watch for review. I don't get to keep the watch, sadly. I have to send it back. But you guys know the deal by now. That's not going to change my review at all. I'm going to review it just like I do every other watch. It's going to get a full and honest review on this channel. And if by the end of this review you want to pick one of these up or get some more information about it, I'm going to leave a link down in the video description. That is to the Vario website. Great guys, great company, and I've been fortunate enough to work with them multiple times. The retail price for this watch is $368 US. That's before any sales taxes or coupons or VAT or anything like that. The watch comes in 4 different colorways that you can see here on screen. They all have a nice texture to them, and it currently looks like this black dial that I'm reviewing today is sold out. However, it should be restocked in August according to the page. The watch case is made of 316L stainless steel. It has a sapphire crystal with AR coating, a screw-down crown, screw-down case back, 100 meters of claimed water resistance, and the watch is powered by the Miyota 82S5 automatic movement. So this is my 3rd or 4th Vario on the channel, I think, and I love them every single time they show up. They're excellent. They come in a really cool travel pouch as well, which is awesome. And they usually do throw in a couple straps for me to put on the watch too. So always a nice treat when I get something from Vario. I like their watches. They try and homage vintage or military inspired watches most of the time. And this one is great. This is an homage to the World War II Dirty Dozen watches. So what do I think of this particular one? Let's dig in and find out. But before we do a quick wrist check today. Wearing my Proxima, I can't remember the model number, sorry. Review for this one is right up here. All right, so let's get the dimensions out of the way. We got a diameter of 37 millimeters, 10.9 millimeters thick, 18 millimeter lug width. Lug tip to lug tip is 44.9 millimeters. And on the included strap, it weighs about 66 grams. So I think the size on this thing is great. It's at 37 millimeters, 44.5 lug to lug. It does have nice turn down to the lugs as well as you can see there. Really nice and slim under 11 millimeters. So really happy with that. Really happy with the way this thing wears. So I'm going to go outside right now and throw it on my wrist for you. And here we are on my 7.5 inch wrist, and as you can see, it wears really good. It's pretty short lug to lug. I think it's going to fit a lot of wrist sizes, and I think 37 millimeter case is also going to fit a lot of wrist sizes. It's a little small for my personal preference, but I do like it still. I think it wears pretty nicely. That crown being at 4 o'clock, really nice, comfortable, doesn't dig into the wrist or anything like that. Again, you've got a nice turn down to the lugs there, just kind of hugs my wrist nicely there. So yeah, really satisfied with the case size on it, and the case finishing looks nice as well, catching the polish chamfers, catching the light nicely here. You can see being under this oak tree, giving it a little bit of a problem, but not terrible. And popping out here in some more, I guess, direct light. Sorry, we don't have any sun today. There's no AR coating on the crystal that I can see, so it does kind of just get faded out like this every once in a while, but for the most part, it's fine. It's a very legible watch in general, so I don't really think it needs AR coating. All right, let's go throw this on a few straps. My 18 millimeter strap game is not great, but I do have a few that I can throw it on. And here we are. We have a strap that was included in the box, so this is a Vario vintage leather strap. These straps are awesome. I've got them in 20 millimeters, and they're fantastic straps, so just figured I'd throw it on there. It's not really fitting for the style, I don't think, but it just looks so good that I can't not do it. And here we are on a Milanese mesh. I think that looks pretty good, actually. It's got enough chamfered, polished chamfers on it that it goes decently well with this shiny bracelet. What do you guys think? It is also very comfortable, too, on this. And here we are on a brown leather rally strap. Got a little bit more sun for you, so here you can see the washout from no AR coating, but you also get that nice dial texture too. So yeah, overall pretty happy with this color combo. I think that works nicely. Got this one off of AliExpress. It's a decent strap. All right, you can go throw it on one last strap and we'll get back. And here we are on a nylon strap. Army green for a military style watch. It's always going to look pretty darn good in my opinion. I think it looks excellent. Super comfortable. There's 2 layers underneath the watch there, and it's still sitting very nice. So it's got a pretty decently flat case back on this thing. Yeah, I think that combo is probably my favorite one. What do you guys think of that? All right, let's go back inside and let's get back to this review. All right, so let's talk about the case finishing. So the case is a mixture of brushed and polished surfaces. You can see the top of the bezel there is a nice circular brushing. and then that transitions down to a high polish on the sides and on the chamfer. I think it looks really good. The transitions are nice. The polishing is done to a high standard. Working our way to the case itself, you have a vertical brushing on the tops of the lugs there. Again, nice and satinized, really nice, high quality, very fine brushing. I think it looks excellent. On the case sides here, you do have a horizontal brushing, and then those two surfaces are separated by nice high polished chamfers, as you can see there. Really nice sharp transitions too, getting up real close. You can see nice and consistent and sharp. Really happy with the case finishing on this thing. It's excellent. I love the drilled lugs on it as well. Flipping it to the crown side here, you have a nice big crown here, screw down crown with the Vario V, fully polished. Plenty of grip on it. You can see it's like a little notch into the lug there. I think it's nice. It's nice and tucked out of the way, so it's super comfortable, and I think it looks really good. I have no real reservations about the case finishing on this thing. It's excellent. And flipping it to the case back here, got a pretty cool case back. They do offer this with a display case back, as you can see here. That shows off the gilt movement. You can also get a custom case back. This is the standard one that's on it. Got a little spec sheet around the outside, Singapore. So this design on the case back that you see here, that's a British soldier, which is carrying a flag there. And then that's overlaid on top of a picture of a modern Singapore soldier. So yeah, it was kind of confusing when I first saw it. I thought maybe that was like a territory or something on the back of it, but no, it is a Singapore soldier silhouette. I think it's pretty cool looking. It's a nice case back, nice and smooth. Even the bottom of these lugs here are nicely rounded, so it's super comfortable on wrist. And I think, overall the case finishing is and the case shape is really, really good. All right, so let's talk about the crystal on this thing. Tested for sapphire. It is positive for sapphire. And it's just a flat piece of sapphire crystal. It is pretty much flush with the bezel, as you can see there. It's unspectacular. There's AR coating on it, supposedly. I think they could use a little bit more AR coating, but there's a little bit of AR coating on it. But it's a flat sapphire crystal. I don't really think those need AR coating. So yeah, if there is any on here, it's just a bonus in my opinion. All right, so let's talk about the dial on this thing. So dial is very nicely done. You can see here, really a nice fine texture. I mean, it's really nicely done. I like the texture on it. I think they did a good job. It's a fully applied dial here. You can see you have kind of this stylized triangle here at the 12 o'clock with 2 dots there, and then rectangles at 3, 6, and 9, and then circles inlaid for all the other hour markers inlaid inside of this railroad minute track, printed nicely. I see no issues with the printing. You have your kind of ghosted out Vario branding there at the 12 o'clock. Really cool. It's subtle, but it still shows its face. It looks really good. This is not the first time they've done that, and I think I just think it looks awesome. They did a really good job with that. You get your sub dial here for the running seconds hand, pretty nicely done as well. There's some layering to it and some depth to it as well. So it's really nicely done. I got no issues with that. Nice small seconds hand there. The handset that they chose on this, perfect. Minute hand reaches right out to the minute track. Hour hand touches the inside of those hour indices. Simple white painted. I think they look absolutely fantastic. It gives a nice contrast to the dial. This thing is super easy to read. You can see all the faux patina. That is a green lume that glows green, and then all the white markings there besides the actual minute track itself. That is BGW9. So yeah, it has a mixture of BGW9 and C3. The lume on this thing, it's okay. I'm going to pop up a lume shot here. You can see it against a couple other watches in the collection that are pretty similar in style to it. You can see it fades pretty evenly, and it does fade pretty quick. So it's about what I expected for a watch like this. These printed dials with the old radium lume never last very long. So it is usable for, I don't know, maybe an hour or so. Then after that, it's pretty hard to read. I did pick this up in the middle of the night. I was able to read the time, but it took a little bit more time than I'd like. All right, so let's talk about the movement. So the movement inside is the Miyota 82S5. So this is a part of the 8000 series of movement. So kind of has the one big negative of that, and that's the rotor. It has a single directional winding rotor. So you can get this rotor spinning and it'll keep on spinning. You can feel it, you can hear it. It's not my favorite thing, but I know some people actually do like that. The movement itself, 21,600 beats per hour, 40 hours of power reserve. It hacks, it hand winds. It's going to be accurate. It's going to be reliable. This is how mine has been running. I can't complain with that. It does seem that Vario is regulating these movements. That is a very healthy 8000 series movement. No issues with that. The movement is operated by this 4 o'clock screw down crown. Nice big crown, plenty of grip, nice smooth screw in and screw out action. Decent pop out there. First position is your hand winding. Feels exactly like a Miyota 8000, so nice and smooth. Pulling out to the first position here. That does hack the movement, like I said, and this is where you set your time. So it's not a date movement or anything like that. You don't have a ghost date position. Really happy with it. The crown feels nice and sturdy as well. Really nice engagement of the threads. It does take a couple tries, I would say, to start threading it in. But once it does thread in, it's nice and consistent and smooth. I don't feel like I'm going to ever cross thread it. It is one of those crowns where when you're screwing it in, you're also winding the movement. So there's a little bit of resistance and noise just because of that. But otherwise, it's a very smooth crown. It's a very nice movement. I have no complaints with it. Yeah, they're really nice and reliable. You can get this with a display caseback, and it is a gilded movement, so it's a fully gold movement. So if you're into that, you can get that as well. So just something to consider. But yeah, I think the movement's fine. I got no issues with it. All right, so let's talk about the strap on this thing. So the strap is a Cordura strap. This is the only strap that's available that I'm aware of. Obviously, Vario is a strap company. They sell plenty of straps, so you can get different straps for this thing. But this is the one that it's supplied on. It's a black Cordura, 18 millimeters, and it tapers down to 16 millimeters. You've got this metal hardware here for the holes, so it's not going to fray any of the holes, so that's nice to see. The material itself, it's pretty stiff, but I think over time it'll flex and it'll conform nicely to the wrist. It is pretty comfortable, and in my limited time with it, it has already started to kind of conform to my wrist. So I have no doubts that, you know, out of the box it's going to be a little stiff, but after a while I think it'll be fine. You have one floating keeper, you have one stationary keeper, all sewn in very nicely. I like the texture that these straps give off. You do have a signed Vario buckle here, nothing fancy but unoffensive. It does the job. My only complaint really is the length of it. I'm on the second to last hole, so this might only fit up to an 8-inch wrist, which is probably where you know, people with larger wrists should probably not go for this one just because the case is so small. But I know that's all personal preference. And but yeah, these straps are very nice. I got no problems with them. You can see here it does have quick release spring bars, which is nice to see. Yeah, I've got not much negative to say about it other than it's a little bit stiff out of the box. But I really do feel like if you wear this often, it's going to conform to your wrist. Yeah, it's a really good strap. And as Vario, as a strap company, they're one of my favorites. So if you're not into this, they do have a bunch of other ones that you can choose from. So yeah, go check out their site if you're not interested in this, and I'm sure you'll find something that you like. So there you go, guys. That's my thoughts on the Vario 1945 D12. This thing is great. I love this style of watch, this Dirty Dozen homage. These things are great. Obviously, the original Dirty Dozens are not very reliable. This one's going to be super reliable, super accurate, modern materials, modern finishing. The case finishing on this watch is very impressive. The case shape on this is also very impressive. I love those that turn down to the lugs there. The dial on this is great. I love the subtle branding as well. The Lume is decent. The strap is decent. The movement is great. Yeah, this is just a really nice overall package if you're looking for one of these D12 homages. There's plenty of them out there, but I think this is probably one of the nicest ones. And, you know, that is reflected in the price. I don't think the price is outrageous for what you're getting from a micro brand. And the people that own the company and run the company, Ivan and Judy, they are fantastic people, and they're going to take care of you. So yeah, just something else to consider. These things are great. So I think that's it for me. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.